In this video, I'll cover the options we've got to put constraints on tasks in Microsoft Project. How does this help us? By default, Microsoft Project assigns new tasks to start at the earliest possible point in time that they can. This type of task behavior is known as the as soon as possible constraint. Constraints are like a form of program logic that are separate to predecessor or successors. The default as soon as possible behavior is not the only option we've got, however, and we can change the way that the task behaves to suit our needs. Knowing how to access and change this information then can help you tailor your program to the realities you expect to face on the project. The best way to input and configure task constraints is through the task information menu, and this can be accessed in a few ways. The fastest is by double-clicking on a task name and the task information dialog will pop up for you straight away. You can also right-click on any task and select task information, or with any task selected, navigate to the task tab and select the task information option in the properties section. Once we've got the task information window open, we navigate to the advanced tab and select the drop-down arrow next to constraint type. Here you'll see the 8 constraint options that are available to you. Using these, you can direct the task how to start or finish in a variety of ways. Task constraints are considered either hard or soft depending on how they consider other logic, like any predecessors or successors you've assigned to the task in question. We've covered what each of these constraints do, the differences between soft and hard constraints, and the practicalities of which ones you should use or avoid in a separate video. For now, we just want to know how we can access and change the constraint information. Okay, so if we select one of these constraints, we're then able to specify the when of the constraint in the constraint date box. After this, we click OK and we're done. Another alternative way to input and edit constraints is via the Task Details pane. Select any task, then navigate to the Task tab and select the Task Details option in the Properties section. You'll now have this pane open, and here you can see the options for constraint type and date. This stays open as you select different tasks, so you can edit this information as needed. You do sacrifice a bit of screen space with this Details pane, so there is a bit of a trade-off. To disable it, just use the same button that you used to open it with. A further alternative in the case of mass edits is to insert both the constraint type and the constraint date columns. You can do this by right-clicking anywhere on the task view side and selecting Insert Column. Then you can start to type constraint type and it will be suggested to you, or you can scroll down and select it from the list of options. Repeat this again for the constraint date column. With these added, you can edit this information directly and much faster. Again, this does sacrifice a bit of screen space, but you can hide these columns again once the edits are made by right-clicking on the column headers and selecting Hide Column. Hiding columns in Microsoft Project doesn't delete the information that you've put in through them, so any constraints or deadlines that you've set will still be part of the program. And that's it. Hope this video was helpful. Be sure to check out the companion video to this one where we cover the differences between soft and hard constraints and the best practice associated with which ones you should use or avoid to improve the results of your program. Send us any queries to JustAsk@menlo-academy.com and we'll see what we can do to help you. See you in the next one.